You're tapped into the Love Offering, your inspiration station, Worship 94.5 FM. Your man RoJay holding it down for you, and as usual, I always gotta bless you with some of the hottest talent, especially those that we spin right here on the Love Offering. My man Eric Roberson, been rocking out with him for a few years, and he has a new single called Trust and Love out, and his 18th studio album, Beautifully All Over the Place. So we have to talk about all of it. Everything that you got going on, my boy. So not even gonna hold you much longer. Checking in with my man Eric Roberson.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
No complaints, man. No complaints.
Man, we're on our 18th studio album, our 18th independent studio album to be exact. And you've been doing this thing well over 20 plus years. So I have to know, does the independent grind get any easier or is it still kind of hard? Does it get harder as the days go by?
That's a great question. I would probably say to some degree it gets easier because some of it has worked, you know?
Mhm.
I'm able to
Right.
take care of my family and kids. You know, in the beginning it was like, is this gonna work? But we were having a lot of fun. We were making mistakes, but having a lot of fun doing it, you know what I mean? And it was exciting. It's a lot harder, respectfully, to get someone excited when I've been writing songs for them for over 20 plus years, right?
Right.
So I'm excited. Like, man, I got this new song. They're like, yeah, well, you know, I'm still loving the song you wrote 20 years ago. Can you sing that one? You know, and you
Right.
trying to introduce something new is maybe a little bit difficult. That might be harder when there was something special about getting on stage and no one knew who you were and you had to win them over. You know, there was something special about that. I would say it's pluses and minuses, but it wasn't fun being broke either.
No, I definitely feel that. But like, how does it feel to be at this part of your journey?
It feels very transparent at this point in the journey. I realize now that, you know, my steps, whether intentional or not intentional, are artistic. They are purposeful. They're profitable, whether financially or just spiritually or just something. Something good will come out of it. Even if I don't, sometimes I won't see it. Right? Someone will tell me, oh man, you know, my cousin's neighbor's son heard one of your songs and it helped him through his day. God bless your neighbors, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
you know, for me now, hey man, I'm more willing now to show everything more than ever because I realize that everything, my flaws, my best day, my worst day, it all is art. It all is seen. It's all profitable, and not profitable like reality TV profitable, but profitable that something good is going to come out of it. Somebody's going to say, "Oh, wow, I felt like that before. Or I'm not alone," you know, or, "Oh man, it made me look at my wife differently this time." You know, whatever it did. Or I poured some wine and got in the bathtub and just chill. You know, whatever. So for me, I'm very more. I think transparent is the best word right now, you know.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to play your latest one of your latest tracks for the Tennessee Valley in just a minute, featuring my man BJ, the Chicago Kid. Want you guys to keep it locked. Got more on the way with my man Eric Roberson right here on the Love Offering, the inspiration station, Worship 94.5 FM. Where you gonna go, my man Eric Roberson, featuring BJ, the Chicago Kid right here, your inspiration station, Worship 94.5 FM, actually hanging out with my man Eric for the evening. And we're talking about the new album, the new singles, all of that. But I do want to know, how did you know that BJ the Chicago Kid was going to be the perfect match, the perfect link up for this particular record, Where You Gonna Go?
Because he chose it, really, to be honest with you. Me and BJ were talking. We met on the road, kept in touch. He became a new father. I'm a father. We were having a bond just in talking with that. And with that, we were like, hey, man, at some point, let's talk music. If there's ever something that you need vocally, I need, whatever. And I was really in a creative zone. I was writing a lot of songs. And I sent him a couple of songs. And one of them was a song I wrote about being a father. And that one was kind of taking up majority of our conversation. But for me, you know, he a church kid, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you listen, dirt road stomp church kid, like that's where I grew up, you know what I mean? So I know he can get down with everybody. Where You Want to Go has that 3/4 undertone, that raw soul, So I did hear him on that, but I sent him a couple of different things. And when we were talking about the fatherhood one, I was like, hey man, so if you hear something on the phone, he said, oh no, man, I cut the Where You Want to Go joint already. I was like, oh, you did? You know?
Right.
And it was a match made in heaven, man. And it just sounded perfect. I don't really, this album, I probably was a little more intentional than usual. Mm-hmm. But for me, man, it's usually whoever I'm talking to that week, whoever shows up in the studio that week, whoever I'm with that day, who I'm conversing with when we write the song. That's usually who, I mean, really from Jill to Music Soul Child or to Marsha Ambrosius or man, anybody, Layla Hathaway. It's really just been who I was talking with that week, you know? Mm-hmm. I wrote Dealing, I think the day before I saw her. You know, okay. but respectfully, no shout to Layla. You know, I love Layla. I'm here whenever you want to do another one. But if I ran into Lettucey the next day, it probably would have been Lettucey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I consider all of them my sisters. I consider all of my friends. So DJ, just thank God that we were talking at the time and sharing a lot. And that was a song that I happened to find in the studio, was working on and was sending him, and that was the one he picked.
That's legit dope. That's dope. Now we're discussing the 18th studio album, Beautifully All Over the Place. And I do know that this is kind of more so tied to your website this go round rather than these streaming platforms. And I'm interested to know why this particular rollout. What was the decision behind like making it exclusive to your website?
I think we're in the attention business first and foremost. And the album will be on streaming platforms at some point. But I think the goal is for people to receive the album the way we made it, really give attention to each particular thing. If I give everybody all 10 songs right now, it'll be digested and removed faster than I would like. So for me, I'm like, hey, I want you to pay attention to each thing we do here. I think I believe in it. I believe in the quality of it. And at the same time, if you want the whole project, come over here and see what we're doing. And we're giving you way more than we usually would give. But with streaming, you don't know who played bass,
right?
You don't know who produced it, you don't know this. And we're trying to just give a different experience as a whole album. But at the same time, just if I keep it really 100, if I release the album right now, let's say we're in September, right? By November, everybody be like, that was dope. What else you got? And really, I'm like, man, I spent 2 years making that album. What you mean we're done in 2 months? I gotta give you something else. For my goal is hopefully by May, we're still talking about the album. It's still growing. Oh man, I was really loving that song, but man, that song's really speaking to me now. How we used to be when we put a needle to the vinyl and really pay attention, or put those headphones on our iPod or whatever and really digest what's going on. Just trying. Because I'm just trying to slow it down a little bit, because we are really digesting things a lot faster, me included, you know?
Right.
I think that's the main reason.
Well, truth be told, we can't even be mad about it. Listen, we're gonna debut a new single. We're gonna play the new single, Trust in Love, coming up. We still got time to hang out with my man Eric. And yeah, just hang out. We got more on the way right here, your inspiration station. Worship 94.5 FM. Trust in Love, my man Eric Roberson featuring Jay Sean Champion, a brand new one from his 18th studio album, Beautifully All Over the Place. And we're hanging out with my man Eric Roberson tonight, talking about not only the album, but these records that he's given us to showcase on the Love Offer, man. How did you link up with Jay Sean? And like, again, just like with BJ Chicago Kid, how did you know that he was perfect for this particular record?
So I worked with Jay Sean, and Jay Sean, first of all, is one of the most incredible and credited songwriters in this business. My very first album that I released independently 25 years ago, he wrote a song on that album, you know? So I've known him, and he's been a champion, by not just name alone, in this industry of just being one of the best pens. And it was one of those things as well. As I had worked on this idea, and I couldn't tell what this beat was doing. I mean, I was calling people going, am I touching Afro beat? Where am I at with this? I'm all, you know, I just knew it was very rhythmic. I really just had the hook, which was probably my 5th hook I wrote to it, but everything was in the same. The first one was, I just wanted to ride by you. I just wanted to ride by you. And then somehow I wanted something simpler. How did I trust in some love? And I didn't want to really say trust in some love. I was like, trust in some love. Try to trust in some love. And I was just dancing around in the studio singing it. And I was like, I think this is it. And it happened that we talked that week. No exaggeration. We talked that week and I was like, Jay Sean, I got half a verse. I'm sending it to you. What else you got? And then, I mean, within hours or by the next morning, he had sent back some ideas. And I was like, well, that's done. And he was like, is this for me or is this for you? I said, it's for us. I'm gonna put you on it. And I think I love that, you know, a lot of times us songwriters and a person like Jay Sean, who's so credited, I love the fact that we're spotlighting him right now because there's so many songwriters in the business who should be artists, who should be releasing records, who should be presenting their perspective, not just by pen alone. So yeah, man, just shining the light on one of my brothers, man, who rightfully deserves it. He's one of the coldest singers and writers, and we had a good time making the song.
The crazy thing is listening to the records like Where You Want to Go, and then you have like the Trust and Love, and just some of the other records that you have on the album. I'm hearing different elements. Like not one song is like in the same groove, right? So how did you feel playing around with these different elements on this project?
But that means a lot to me that you noticed that, because I mean the album is called Beautifully All Over the Place, and the songs are not supposed to sound like themselves. And I think that was why the album is called that, because one day I was on a rock vibe, the next day I was on a hip hop vibe, next day I was on a soul vibe, you know, and I think that's really been a lot of the discovery. You know, the amazing thing, you see this pole right here, this ridge right here, that was a wall. And just last year, I had the wall taken down. That was a vocal booth back there, just so I could add more equipment, because I just got back into playing instruments and I just needed more space to explore. And these pop songs that are coming out, these rock songs, whatever. If I worked on a house song, if something had an Afro beat under it, I just had a lot of fun. Just what I did Tuesday, I didn't want to do Wednesday. So I'm in Johannesburg on Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Chicago on Wednesday. I'm in North Carolina on Sunday, you know what I mean? So, and that's really what I really believe, that making music and then listening to music is kind of like reading a book. When I'm reading a book, I go to where that book is talking about. If the book is a story about Paris or Louisiana, I'm in Louisiana. So for me in the studio, the same thing. It's like, am I trying to go to Louisiana? All right, how can I get to Louisiana? And sometimes I need to call in much more efficient musicians and producers to do that. But that was kind of how we did this album. We just tried, how can we travel the world without going nowhere?
Definitely takes you on a journey. Now listen, Eric, I know we could sit here and talk all night. I do appreciate you tapping in with me tonight for the love offering. I enjoy all of these records that you give me to play, man. And we've been killing these records here on the show. And of course, we're going to link up again and we're going to talk more about the projects.
Well, I look forward to next time, man. I thank you just for playing it, man. I appreciate it.
So once again, you guys go check out Beautifully All Over the Place, my man Eric Roberson. New singles out, Trust and Love, of course, Where You Gonna Go, and so much more. Eric, I appreciate you once again for hanging out with me, man.
No doubt. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
And keep it locked, lovers. I got more on the way right here, your inspiration station. Worship 94.5 FM.